So what is sustainability? In this video, I'm going to discuss a common definition and one that I like better. Then I'll look at one way to organize some of the requirements of a sustainable civilization into three groups. Those are society, environment, and the economy. Finally, I'll discuss at a high level the interaction between the economy and the environment. So let's get started. Here is a definition that was developed by the UN back in 1987 and was reported in the so-called Brundtland Report. Sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. This definition is used often as is or slightly modified, but almost always has the theme of meeting the needs of the present without compromising the future. I'm going to propose a definition that focuses less on the end state and more on the means of getting there. Here it is. Sustainability is the process of civilization learning how to thrive indefinitely. First, it shows that sustainability is a learning process. Sustainability is a learning process. Civilization is trying to figure out how to thrive, not just meet our needs. I like thrive better than meeting our needs because I think sustainability is about more than just meeting our needs. Finally, we have to learn how to do this indefinitely. Like the Brundtland definition, future generations may then also be able to thrive. In the last couple of decades, we have made some progress in understanding how a sustainable civilization might work, though we are definitely struggling with implementation. One idea that seems to be helpful is to think of sustainability requirements in three groups. These are shown as three intersecting circles representing society, environment, and economy. The society group includes things like human rights, education and health services, and social justice. The environment group includes things like a stable climate, clean water, air, and land, and functioning oceans. Finally, the economy group includes things like good jobs, fair wages and trade, and financial security. Security. A sustainable civilization needs to meet the requirements in all three, so it exists in the area where the three circles representing the requirements overlapped. It's right in here. Now let's talk about the interaction between the environment and the economy. We'll start by looking at the basic model that economists use to describe the economy. In this model, there are two types of entities, firms and households. Firms and households. Firms make goods and services and sell them to households. Goods and services. In return, the households give the firms money. But also, the households give the firms capital and labor. In return, the firms give the households money. This can be things like employment compensation and dividends on stocks. Of course, in the real world is much more complicated, and the models that economists use are also more complicated. But this simple approach has provided a good approximation to the way real markets work and how they have been fabulously successful at allocating economic resources. So this economic system is very good at efficient allocation of economic resources. But the simple model, or for that matter, most of the more complicated models that economists actually use, do not consider how the economy interacts with the environment. The environment provides resources and environmental services like clean air, water, land, stable climate, minerals, food, and fuels. So we'll just show that here, and we'll just label it as resources. That's natural resources, and services. That's environmental services. The environment also absorbs waste from the firms and households, like air emissions, including carbon dioxide, liquid emissions like contaminated runoff and spills, and solids like waste to landfill. So we'll show that here. Just label it wastes. Economists call all of these things externalities and basically ignores them. By neglecting these externalities, the model and the real market have no means to limit the scale or size of the economy to a sustainable level. So this system is not good at maintaining a sustainable scale or size for the economic system. As long as the economy was small compared to the ability of the environment to provide natural resources and absorb our waste, neglecting these things was a reasonable and good simplifying assumption. However, we have long since passed that point. The scale or size of the economy has exceeded the abilities of the environment. That means we are living on borrowed time and cannot sustain this indefinitely. Fortunately, there has been significant progress made in a discipline called ecological economics that does include these externalities. Unfortunately, mainstream economists and policymakers have not yet embraced this approach. I plan to go into much more detail on ecological economics in the future to increase the understanding and adoption of ecological economics. That's the end of this video. Thank you.